Frogs, niggas.
All my wishes is frogs.
All right, let's go into this next subject. They was talking about young Pharaoh was talking about the Nation of Islam origins being Masonic,
Mhm.
and Ali Muhammad disputed that also. Ali Muhammad disputed everything young Pharaoh said, basically. To me, the Masonic origins of Islam was very damaging to me. You know what I'm saying? I never really connected them in the past. And when he said that, I started to think, like, see, this is what these videos do. They give you a suspicion. Now, even if it's true or not, you automatically starting to doubt it. Because if it makes sense to you, it makes sense to you. You know what I'm saying? You automatically running with it, even if it's valid or not. But the Masonic origin, like I said, was a very strong point to me that struck me. That made me start doing research. Like, because when he said 1919 and he was going back to the dates, I was like, I thought Islam was Muslim religion was way older than that. I thought it didn't have a date. I thought it was the oldest religion, personally. That's what I thought.
No, but it got more than 100 years on it.
You know what I'm
Thank you.
saying? So when that struck me, but you know what I'm saying, when you're young, like a lot of these kids are, they're not doing fact checks and all that stuff. They're running with the information. So that being said, what did you feel about young Pharaoh and that connection between the Masonic order, the Shriner, the origins of Muslims and Islam, and his points, and then Ali Muhammad's points to refute that. What do you think about that?
I mean, well, see, and to be perfectly honest, and I will never present myself as a scholar in any of those areas or an authority. But what you said, as I'm listening to you, one of the first things you said, you first quoted some of the episode, but then what did you say? That then I researched. Then I researched.
Yeah, 'cause that's what I'm going to do anyway.
Yes, but if the young people, and this is where the young people are lacking, and this is where, that saying comes in sometimes, youth is wasting on the young. Now, you're right. If they go and run with this, then they're bringing the same consciousness to us as they give to regular media, because that's what they do with CNN, NBC, ABC. We don't want people to listen and run. If this doesn't stimulate you to get off your mental butt and dig deeper, then you're not a part of the solution. You're part of the problem. Because if anything can send you in any different direction, it can stimulate thought. It can stimulate dialogue. So for those young folks that are listening, yeah, okay, if your interest is sparked, or even before you get, oh man, I'm going to never do this, or I'm going to always do that, verify, cross-reference, compare notes. And as great as this internet and this Google game is, there's still books around. Spend an afternoon in a library. Everything is not online yet. There are some sources of literature that will give you a perspective that all that quick Google search can't touch. So we don't need mentally lazy young people, and they can't bring the same consciousness to this as they bring to Scandal or Empire. If they just come to these uploads with a big bucket of popcorn and what are they going to do next? That's not going to help elevate consciousness, and that's not going to help move the culture. So the good of this is if those who are interested, stimulated by this back and forth will go further. All right, let me verify what I'm hearing. I like this brother. He sounds good, but make sure everything he's saying, and that goes for both of them. Cross-reference, and even from the earlier upload we did, or the recording we did, I offered what my suspicions or my doubts were about Dr. Ali's presentation related to the letter. And that's what all of this is good. Now he can come back with something that clears that up, or he can say, well, there is no way to clear that up, so this is left out for those who believe it's authentic document and those who say, okay, yeah, there could be a question mark on that. All of this can help us if you're interested in staying in pursuit of the truth, because the truth is what we all are searching for, isn't it?
Yes.
I just don't want a version. I want the truth, or as close to it as I can get. Because a professor told me one time the goal should be the truth pursued. How did it go? Truth pursued, but not never accomplished. But the emphasis is of the truth is a continuous search. The person who claims they have it, oh, I know what it is. That's a scary individual or concept to look at, because the truth can be seen from so many different angles. There is a center core of it, but if you don't see that truth from the same angle or perspective that someone else does, that doesn't mean their truth is any less than yours. It just means their perspective and their view comes from a different point of view.
Exactly. But going back to the Masonic origin, how do you feel personally about that connection young Pharaoh presented? Do you feel is a connection, or you feel it's like nah?
Again, going by his case, going by what he presented and how he presented it, and he did it, PowerPoint. He showed the symbol here, the symbol there, that hat, this there, that article. I mean, it's almost like if you were looking at two attorneys and you are sitting in a jury box, and both these men are articulate, they're impassioned, and again, Young Pharaoh has a solid presentation. Just avoid the profanity, the vulgarity. He lines this stuff up kind of good, but I think what some of the people that are countering with, they're putting dates and names to some of the pictures and documentation he's showing. So, as a layman, not being an authority that has my own knowledge to refute right off the top either one of them, just going by their presentations. To this point, I would have to lean towards our brother Dr. Ali Muhammad's refuting of a good bit of what young Pharaoh put forward. His statements were backed seemingly by more accurate and dated information. Again, seemingly. I haven't sifted through all of it yet, but out of the two presentations, I was leaning more towards Dr. Ali Muhammad's. I was on board with a lot of what he was revealing. Like I said earlier, just his sentiments towards Malcolm X it's unfortunate for a brother, that intelligent and he has walked. He is not a member, because not to go off, in one of the comments after I listened to his upload, someone else wrote something that was kind of interesting. They said, okay, if this belief system is so beloved and you are still, you riding, so how come you're not a current and active member? And I'm saying that as if he's not. I'm just re-quoting what the comment was inside the thread from that post. Now, I don't know if he's still a member, but I'm getting the impression he's not currently. Now, I know he still admires, respects, and accepts. I say I know, but I'm getting from his assertion that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he definitely respects him as the messenger. I'm very curious as to whether our good brother Dr. Ali Muhammad is still an active member of the Nation of Islam. And if he isn't, that's worthy of, why not? If it's such an awesome organization, how come you have decided to either go a rogue route, being an out minister, doing your own thing, still following, but not one of the ranks? And maybe you are. Again, just putting that out based on what I heard from some of the comments he made and what I read from one of the people that were moved to comment on his thread.
I recall him saying he was a ranking member of the Nation of Islam.
Currently?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if I heard. I can't. Let me say I can't heard him say currently, but I heard him say on his feed that he's a rank. He showed a picture of himself in the audience saying yes, just for y'all to know, I am a ranking member of the Nation of Islam. But he didn't say specifically currently. You know what I'm saying?
I think I saw that same clip, and I think he was using that to show his history. That I have been in. That's the impression I got. Maybe I got the wrong impression.
See?
Yeah, and even now, again, he still holds the messenger as a messenger. I got the impression that he's, as a matter of fact, I think what helped me get that impression, I think he debated a minister from the Nation of Islam. I think one
Mm.
of the earlier debates he had, one of the ministers from the nation came because they were going, because he kind of ran up against some of the beliefs. So I believe,
Well,
I don't think
you would know more than me though. You would know more than me.
on this one, I would go out on a limb and say I don't believe he's a current member in today's Nation of Islam. I do believe he was, I think maybe 10-year plus member at some point. And again, I'm just speaking off the top of my head, but I'll be curious to know that if he does. And let me, did you? I don't know if you're gonna put the email up, but brother Ali, I would love to get some of these answers from you if you got the time. And I know
Yes.
you're brother. As a matter of fact, I know you're traveling now, or that's the statement you made in your last upload. But if you can reach out to a brother, if you have the opportunity, Herman Specialized Fitness at gmail.com. Herman Specialized with the D Fitness at gmail.com. It'd be great to hear from you or to get those answers. And I respect your effort and your passion and what you're trying to do. I just wish I wish your heart was not as hardened to or towards that brother who I still find is honorable, Malcolm X.
Um, you stated that. Matter of fact, let me say this. I know this for a fact. This is to me. This is what's causing the division. To me, my personal opinion. If you even causing a division, because I'm not saying the causing a division or speaking about it is necessarily wrong. It's how you speak about it. But the fact that I think majority of the people, of the children, even the adults, are not fact searching. They're not doing that.
I agree.
If you take this strong element and you split it in two, then you're breaking it down the foundation of it because everyone is not going to fact check. There's a lot of people to this day that thinks Islam. More people to this day think Islam, in my opinion, is Masonic, just from young Pharaoh's,
Mm-hmm.
just from his point of view. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So, and then we're looking at the drama numbers in media and just generally.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes me question. Are people coming to the conscious community for information or for entertainment?
Great question, man.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
to be perfectly honest, it's probably a little bit of both.
But it
No.
shouldn't be. It shouldn't
Mm.
be entertainment. I think that's what the conscious community is turning itself into. It's like
Well, okay. Now hold that down because guess what? Our good brother Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, he was very much a part of edutainment. He even said, "Hey, our people are a joyous people." He would mix a joke in with his presentation, so he purposely spoke in a way to have that kind of rhythmic kind of pull you in this way and then hit you on the head with the knowledge after. So he used that technique often in his public speaking and in his presentations.
but do you think that's? I don't think that's what the community is gearing towards. I think that's the way it's manifesting into. You know what I'm saying? It's not. I think this is becoming. Well, I think knowledge of myself. We argue this all the time. We say, is it a gimmick for views, or is it about the information? Because you can get caught up in the whole props of getting views.
Mhm.
So a lot of this information could be a little bit shocking. The shock value of things is the world star element. It's like the shock value is more entertaining than the truth. The story might be more compelling than, you know what I'm saying? A wrong story might be more compelling than the right story. So where's the balance? There's really no balance in this anymore. It's like someone
Yeah. Yeah.
could
Uh,
come on the YouTube, say this. Look, think about it. We had this young guy named Young Pharaoh going at a whole nation of Islam, and is rippling across where other people in the nation are having problems with this. So it's like obviously it's hitting. So should it be addressed?
To be honest, that's what's so interesting. Like, well, I said at the end of the last film, the elite control through the military, the media, and the money. So the media, you, what was happening? Our young Pharaoh, he is a phenom of this development, this
Yes,
consciousness, black
this
awareness, social media
this
presence.
platform, these platforms, he is.
He is a phenom in it. So what he does, and if you look at his numbers, what he can draw attention to in the length of time that he draws that amount of attention to, an organization, a company, whatever your brand even is, you got somebody with that kind of influence riding on it. You cannot leave your position undefended, and you don't send anyone to counter it. And this is what, so they had to address that in itself shows the kind of influence and power that he has. And if you remember, look at these campaigns, or even going back, remember the Willie Horton ad? That was the ad used during the Bush campaign, and it's a 30-second ad. It was back when the Law and Order Republicans were trying to get back in charge.
Hmm.
There's supposedly Willie Horton was released and committed these horrible crimes, and it was the whole ad was saying being easy on law, you will be killed, like da da da. But they had this brother Willie Horton in a prison suit. I think they had a revolving door, and him just coming out back out. So it was the thing is quick second ad hit him quick. There was a lot of misinformation associated with the ad, but by the time you come back after with the truth, the damage is done. They hit them quick. They affect people, how people react and how they vote. So this is down to a science. Now,
So,
whether the people employing those same things, meaning putting something out so quick with such a major impact, whether they know they're having that kind of impact, they still are. So to answer that question, it's you have to address it. It's just the way and manner that you address it will depend. And I respect the way the nation has come forward so far. They had a 2-hour conversation with our brother Young Pharaoh, and only after that they had the upload where they both came to terms to have a meeting of minds of sorts. I don't know if everybody got what they wanted, but at least it showed young brothers coming together in a situation that was verbally agreed to instead of where it was moving towards. There was no other route for this to go besides to some very bad places based on what was being said. So
which
the stage was set for some very negative things to happen if we didn't divert from this path. At least from my last hearing, I think we're moving to a good place. I just, I don't know if Young Pharaoh has had an opportunity to keep up with all of the information because this seems to be one of the main topics that many people are speaking on. So if he's trying to stay aware of what all opinions are, not that he should even have to, but he seems to be a brother that is in tune with the kind of impression he's making. And I also think he's intelligent enough to make adjustments if he's not having the impact that he's desiring.
does topics like this, as an intellectual like young Pharaoh's supposed to be, is right? We give him the benefit of the doubt. Should this matter, knowing the implications and the gravity of this? This is big to me. Does this situation have to? They absolutely have to be kept behind closed doors. They have to be handled from you know what I'm saying? Because this is what happens. Now you got people. Now you see how it blowed up, right? Now people's threatening him. This comes from the way he did it.
Mhm.
So, did, in your opinion, should these situations, like if you have some information about something within the community, because I see a lot of brothers make mistakes and they jump on camera, but it doesn't pan out the way you know what I'm saying. Should this stuff just stay behind closed doors and be handled by a strong, a strong leadership behind? So you know what I'm saying, like, because you could go off on your own and do it, but is it correct? Because you saying take it down. You're saying take it down now. So that means it shouldn't have ever been put up. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
well, what you mean out of the choices I gave earlier?
Yeah, and I'm just saying, like, should the situation have been handled behind closed doors where
Oh,
now all this stuff is being, where he's being threatened, he's talking about he gonna protect himself. This is all from you spreading information that it's very. It could be picked apart. It's not guaranteed. It's not 100% factual.
Mhm.
Or from everyone don't say if facts is 100% proven. If
Right.
everyone can't prove this is facts, then it's opinions. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, and
So,
that's see that's it. I don't even think it's a matter of the fact, of opinion, information, because people have been critiquing and slamming and putting whole extensive DVDs about the Nation of Islam for a while. This is not new.
that's
Again,
true.
Dr. Ali Muhammad has been one of the major people calling Minister Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam to task about different choices, and he's almost done what Pharaoh was doing in his version of it. So it's not that, it's the way. Let's not lose sight. It is the way that this was done. It was the temperament in which this was done in. And it was done in that way in relation to a person who is very respected by very large numbers. Whatever you want to criticize him, you can't take that away. I mean, even to his most recent, he still pulls the people out, for better or worse. You'll call him all this stuff. There's people who feel him and are moved by him, and that's Minister Louis Farrakhan. So the temperament and the kind of language that was used is it. They've criticized Nation of Islam. Even Irritated Genie has criticized him. Hassan has criticized, and even Hassan's was a bit cutty. So Hassan was the first one to introduce that really harsh language towards a man who is very well respected by large numbers of our community. And I don't know, a lot of people remember, he was very sharp in his criticism of Minister Farrakhan. I don't believe I think he separated. I think it was specifically Farrakhan, even in his side, but in his tone and his temperament in criticizing him was it maybe the era I came up in. I just eldership meant something, even an elder you don't agree with. I mentioned that time right on 125th. There's an elder that was just being very harsh, speaking against Malcolm X. Out of the years that he's getting, I couldn't. I just held myself humbly quiet. That's an elder. It's still for me. It was just driven into me. There's a role they have now. It seems like young people are so willing to challenge or snatch that from them, and that can't be a good thing for us collectively.
So, do you think young Pharaoh should have reached out behind doors, behind the scenes, and did his due diligence before dropping that blog? Do you?
Well, no. See, now, again, he has a right. If that's what and obviously that's what he's built his name is following. You
Mhm.
can criticize anybody's belief system, anybody's leadership, and you can do it, but do it in a way where
Wait,
the information. So
gotcha.
if he didn't know what he can do another one tomorrow. Just take all the ugliness out of it. Just deal with the point. So I'm not questioning that part of it.
I
If he
got
did
you.
it the right way, yeah, and anyone has the right to
Everyone
speak.
could. I feel you. I
Yeah.
feel you.
So now, but when it became bad, do you have to keep going back and forth? And that's what they did. That's how the 2 hour conversation came about. There was no live, hey, Pharaoh, let's work this out. No, they said, yo, brother Pharaoh, I'm just thinking how it went. The way this is, it's not good. How can we come to terms where we can demonstrate to the people, blah, blah, blah. And if they took 2 hours to kind of get on that same page, that they had a meaningful conversation. So, and again, they came closer to an agreement. I
Hmm.
don't know if everybody was satisfied with what is currently the agreement, but it took it away from a railroad, a train wreck that was on the horizon.
No, we don't know what's to come. So it's like you mentioned Khalid, and we see what happened to Malcolm X, and it's like it's some bad misfortunes go against brothers who go against the Nation of Islam.
You know,
What's up?
you gave me a moment to bring something to mind.
What?
Uh, and I jump around the YouTube and see what other people are saying about different things. And I stumbled on an old interview that our good brother Rich did with
Okay.
Dr. Wesley Muhammad,
Okay.
and a similar question came up, or not a similar, but the answer Dr. Wesley Muhammad gave was kind of interesting, and I wanted to, just put this out. I wonder if he was aware of it, but the question Brother Rich put to Dr. Wesley Muhammad was, kind of like, how come Farrakhan is still here? If he, or he presented it that
That's a
our
valid
leader,
question.
Malcolm, King, if you a real straight up leader doing the work, you get taken out. And just because the mere fact of Farrakhan still being here and not being removed, does that make him an agent or make him serving their purpose? And I respected Dr. Wesley Muhammad's answer. So he said, to take that mindset is to see the white man as God. So that if the white man doesn't anoint you with death, then that means you're not a qualified leader. Mm-hmm. So I do understand that. And then the question that came, or what I would like to put out, when Brother Rich was pressed about it, he said, well, hey, look what they did to Malcolm, look what they did to Khalid Muhammad. And part of Dr. Wesley Muhammad's answer was, well, Malcolm was killed, and he said, Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad wasn't assassinated. And I was a little surprised to hear that as the impression that Wesley Muhammad had, Dr. Wesley Muhammad had. I think anybody, I know, I'm firmly of the belief that Dr. Abdul Muhammad was assassinated.
You talking about Khalid Muhammad, the general, the ex communication leader of the Nation of Islam? That's what you're talking about.
I think straight up assassination. Straight up. Now, I don't know the elements, and I'm not even trying to cast doubt, because his wife physically was the last person with him up until the point him leading to the hospital. But I think the elements related to Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad's death is an assassination.
Now, that was a strong brother right there. I was doing a little research on him the other day, and I didn't realize how smart he was. And all the degrees he held, and all the countries he traveled, and the wars he fought, and he was for real. That guy was for real.
And again, to stick with the point of assassination, to look at the physical elements. I mean, an ex-football quarterback, athlete. As a matter of fact, a lot of his schooling he got on athletic scholarships. When Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad had the aneurysm, it was at 54. I'm this is years ago. I'm 53 now. I make 54 this year. I trained as hard as I was ever trained. I know the condition Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad was in. So that's why knowing the physics and moved with him. That it was. I mean, we did. Sometimes cars wasn't where they needed to be. We had to get into a trot. 2-3 blocks and be ready for it. Khalid never had a problem with that.
Aneurysm is a growth. It happens over time.
Yeah, that was going to be the next thing. And I know that in itself doesn't relate. I mean, you could still be quote unquote physically athletic, and a condition like that can still develop. So I'm not totally discounting that the medical aspects of its provability is not evident.
Unless it was hidden from the public,
Or they got technology, man. They got this. From what I've read, they got this solution they can put on their palm of the hand. And it's all
Say that again. Say that again. They got a solution I could put on the palm of their hand.
Certain agencies have a solution or powder. I think it comes in two forms. Can be placed on the palm of the hand. You shake someone's hand. Long as the person who is applying it, washed it off, I think 30 minutes or something, the person whose hand you shook, it absorbs into the skin. It can mimic a heart attack. It can mimic other physical ailments related to sudden death.
Wow.
So assassination moves in so many different ways, especially figures that are doing certain kinds of work. So maybe if I could put that out there, if there are any other people thinking that was just some basic medical condition that took that warrior, I will not be moved from the position of an assassination until I've seen thorough verification that option was not on the table.
That goes into the foul play. That goes back into, we could go back into Malcolm X, and you know what I'm saying? You start going into waters that is be deep, deep waters, and then it'd be like, what I want to talk to you about? We're looking for the Scientology clip that you had with Louis Farrakhan, when you asked him a question, right?
Yes.
Like that's another controversial thing they're doing. The Nation of Islam,
Uh-huh.
just mentioning Scientology is a little crazy, but
Right.
to be connected with them. What's your feeling?
Yeah.
What's like it shows you? It shows you like all right, the path, this organization, it could be, it could be freaking skeptical. You could be skeptical about it a little bit. It could be
Right. Right.
questioned. You could question it too, and then all the things that surrounding it too is like, all right, I don't want to cast any doubt on them because I don't have any proof, facts known. I didn't do my research, so I'm just saying from what's in public. You
Right.
had the conversation with Louis Farrakhan. I mean, with Louis Farrakhan about Scientology. And the fact that they're moving in that direction, I read briefly, and I heard Malcolm. I heard Louis Farrakhan talking about the Scientology, and you should study Scientology for whatever reasons he said. What's your feelings on that? And as being pro-black, pro-black is pro-black. You know what I'm saying? And that's Scientology is not pro-black, so that's all I
Yeah.
can really say. Well, so why
Yeah.
would you even connect with them as an organization, which you stand by? Because I read Elijah, I'm going on and on and on. I read Elijah Muhammad's book. I read
Mhm.
the terms he used, and I don't think he'll be connecting with Scientology if he was alive to this day. You know what I'm
It,
saying?
it's a very interesting alliance. And even again, going back real quick to
Uh-huh.
why, remember I said why I think Dr. Ali Muhammad isn't, because he was critical of that choice.
Yes,
Even
yes,
in
yes,
his
yes.